It's on, it's on.
Jeep Creep. Hey, all my Jeep Creepers out there. I'm shooting a little short video here, just talking about how you can save money by reusing old computer monitors. Now, what is the difference between big old TV there and just your run-of-the-mill computer monitor? Basically not much, okay? A computer monitor is essentially a TV. The only real thing that you're missing from a TV like this is speakers. Now, since the advent of the flat screen TVs, the plasma TVs, the LCD TVs, all that stuff, honestly, sound quality on these speakers is not that great. Most people, anyway, are buying anything from a home theater, surround sound speakers with 5.1 or whatever you're using, 7.1, 7.2. There's tons of channels now, Dolby Atmos. I don't want to get into all this. This is a simple video. But the sound quality on a home theater is much better than any flat screen. It won't even come close. The easiest thing you could do would be get like a center channel, which is just like that bar, and they could do simulated surround sound. They got better sound and everything. But basically, sound stinks anyway, right? So what's the difference? Well, over here I have a pretty large screen. This is an old computer monitor, and it was free, okay? There's nothing wrong with it at all. It's a 25-inch screen, I think, which is ideal. But obviously, you don't want to use that in a giant room, like this 60-inch plasma that I got behind me. This would be something ideal for like a kid's room, if you have a gym in your house. I'm going to be using it, if you're following my other videos, in my trailer that I'm building, my RV trailer. So it's perfect for that. One of the nice things too is it's pretty thin because it doesn't have any speakers on it or anything. It's just literally a screen, and it's pretty thin. The nice thing too is I do have the stand with it, and as you can see, it's got the VESA mount, or VESA, however you say it, VESA mount, and that mount will work with a standard TV mount, or a universal TV mount. So if I wanted to, I could put it on a on a tilt, and then they have the swivel and tilt, and then they have the ones with the arms that kind of swing out and do whatever. Since I'm doing this ultimately dirt cheap, I'm probably going to try reusing what I have here, because this, has tilt functionality. It even goes up and down. So, it does some things. So, so why use a computer monitor instead of a TV? Well, they're cheaper, okay? This build is going to cost me, not much at all. I think the only real thing that I bought that you'll need is something called an HDMI extractor. Now, depending on your monitor, they all have different types of inputs. This particular monitor has DP, which is dual display port, HDMI, which is a standard for televisions, and VGA. And then it's got an audio headphone jack out. So on this particular monitor, we don't need what I'm going to show you, but I was using this just for an example. So basically what you need to do, like I was saying, is get yourself one of these boxes, and your source. Now what I recommend, they have a lot of different things that you could use, but I actually like these a lot. This is the Walmart ONN, ONN period, and as you can see, it is a 4K streaming box. I don't know if that's the model, 1026-240, but this, all it has on it is, this is a power cord, and that's an HDMI cord. So you would take the HDMI out cord on this, because this is an output cord, and run it in to this guy, right? So that plugs in right there. And then you have on this particular model, which I don't think I have, it's just very generic, doesn't have a model or anything. You plug it in here, and you could pick between 2-channel or 5.1 surround sound. On the back, your HDMI out, well, that goes to your monitor. That's going to carry the video. If you're going to use 5.1 surround sound, then you would use this SPDIF. That runs to your home theater receiver. But if you don't have a home theater receiver, just keep it simple. Use your regular audio, left and right channels. Your left and right channels, you know, your RCA plugs that look like this, they're usually red and white or whatever, these are black and yellow, would run to your speakers. I just have some computer speakers here for demonstration, and it's got a headphone jack. You know, you can see it's auxiliary in right there. This could run to anything. You could keep it, you know, really simple, or you can. They also have little audio boxes, like amplifiers that you could run it to and amplify your speakers, or buy computer speakers, whatever you prefer, whatever you have. I'm doing this on the absolute lowest, cheapest setup. So let's see what this sounds like when I get it all set up here. And here you go, here's my setup. So I'm using just the YouTube app on my on device, and I'll show you the sound.
I was once a camper myself. But it wasn't anything like this.
So there you go. The sound is awesome. I'm using just my Creative speakers. They have a built-in amplifier. Just to recap, here's the setup that I'm using. So that's the remote to my Droid streaming device on. It plugs into the auxiliary in there. Here's my HDMI media converter box. So the input, as you can see right here, curls around and goes into the on device. This is just a power cord, that's the HDMI cord. So the HDMI cord from here to the input here. The output, I'm using RCA, and I got it on 2-channel because it's just 2 stereo speakers. That runs to this headphone jack, the input on here. And then the HDMI continues through this cord right here into the back of my computer monitor. And like I said, with this computer monitor, if you're lucky and you see a headphone jack, guess what? You don't even need this. This monitor, I could simply run from the headphone jack to some speakers or surround sound or whatever I want. So, why am I using an on streaming device over Fire Stick or Amazon Fire TV, which is the one I normally use? Basically, because this is for my RV, I won't always have an internet connection, right? This menu works just fine, as you can see. I can access everything. Well, it's on the internet right now. Let's disconnect it from the internet so you can see what it looks like. Turn the Wi-Fi off. Okay. So you'll see, it still works. Why would I want this without Wi-Fi? Because you can't use any apps, can't use any streaming services. Well, it's this guy right here, Kodi. I can still use Kodi, as you can see. Kodi I don't want to get into too much, but basically what Kodi is a media player piece of software for your device. It can play almost any format you throw at it, pictures, music, video, whatever you have. So if you're saving video in a digital file or whatever, it will play them. You just need to provide Kodi with some sort of digital files. Now, there's a lot of different ways you could do this. If you have you know, an Android streaming device like Fire Stick TV, Chromecast, Apple TV, whatever. It doesn't matter. There's a ton out there on that I'm using. You need to have one that has a, you know, a USB plug-in for portable hard drive, or you know, a USB thumb drive, or whatever. Or you can use a local Wi-Fi connection. So if you had a wireless router set up, like a mini network setup, and you had your hard drive plugged into this wireless network, then you'd be able to stream off of it. I don't want to make it too complicated, but there's a lot of things you can do. So over your network connection, you can run Kodi, say on a laptop. And on your laptop, you could have your files for your movies or whatever. You would just need to run Kodi's streaming service, which is the easiest way that I found. It uses UPnP or DLNA. If you don't know what these are, you could look them up. But basically, you turn on that service, and another Kodi device on the same network will see that share that you have set up. I don't want to get real advanced with this, but that's basically how it works. Kodi also does AirPlay as well. A lot of people are familiar with that with their phones and everything. It's basically the same thing. So if you have a laptop, turn it on, boom, there you go. Or if you want to keep it super simple, just get an Android device, like I said, that has a USB connection for an external hard drive. And with my Fire Stick, this is what happens when you don't have internet. It just says home is currently unavailable. So if you're off grid, it's kind of a pain in the butt. It really doesn't have much, but you can technically get to Kodi by holding down the home button. You go into the settings, maybe, and then applications, manage installed applications. And then I think you can launch Kodi from here. Launch application. So that's kind of the workaround there. Okay, so I have this back up because I'm connected to my hotspot. Now I have something else in my home called a Fire TV Recast. And what that is basically kind of like a TiVo for your antenna TV. And the nice thing about it is you go to the live section here and open up the channel guide. Okay, see on the top there where it says Fire TV Recast? This is actual live television. A lot of people are like, oh, get live TV over your internet and stuff like that. Those are apps, okay? These are actual real channels that we're getting, and I have a TV guide.
Start small with Nicorette, which can lead to something big.
You turn that down.
Start stopping with Nicorette.
Okay, this monitor has speakers in it too. See if I can pause it here. Okay, so you know this is IN television. So you have a TV guide, you have the whole nine, and you can kind of go through your channels. And the word was that he was watch actual TV. I mean, the nice thing is you can take in just like a TiVo or anything else.
To me, the ability
You can pause live TV. You can record channels just like TiVo, fast forward, rewind. You know, so you can channel skip and all that. And this is live TV. This is not internet, so you can get all your news and all that stuff this way here. I'm just gonna back out of this so it doesn't keep playing on me. Now, if you wanted to do this cheaper, I wouldn't use a Fire TV and all that, you know, Fire Stick or whatever, and a Fire TV Recast, because the Fire TV Recast is expensive. This is the one that I have. This is the cheaper one. It's two tuners. It's come down a little bit in price. It's $229.99 on Amazon. If you wanted to get the bigger one, which is 4 tuners, this has 75 hours of recording, by the way. The bigger one with the 4 tuners, mine has a 500 gig hard drive. The 4 tuners has a 1 terabyte hard drive, and it has 150 hours of recording time, and that one's $279.99. Now the way this works is this box is really simple. It has basically two things that you plug into the back. You can see that there's an antenna plug-in. This is just a connect button. USB, I think you can add additional storage to the drive, and then Ethernet and a power. So all you do is just hook this thing up to your antenna outside or indoors. You can use an indoor antenna. I have an outdoor antenna set up on a tower and all that because we're in a rural area. And I will tell you that using my antenna and my signal booster, and on top of those two things, the Fire TV does a great job of preventing a lot of that digital lag that you get. It actually kind of, I don't want to say it boosts the signal, but it handles it really well if you're in a rural area. I've been loving it. So it's really easy to set up. There's not much to this box at all. You literally just plug in the two things and then you're good to go. Now, why I like this thing? Well, what's the problem when you have one antenna? Well, then you have to run splitters, and then you run into signal reduction with splitters. And then if you have a long run across your house, you need boosters and all this stuff. And there's a lot about signal retention and stuff like that. And if you run multiple TVs, if you got TVs in every room in the house, it's a pain in the butt. So what this does, basically, by hooking your antenna up to this thing and plugging this into your home network, you can run this to your wireless network, which we do. And all of our Fire Sticks and everything in each room in the house picks up the wireless signal. So now we can get TV, live TV on every single TV in the house without running any cables. It's all wireless. You only need to run and hook up this guy. That was a huge thing for me. It made it a lot easier to go that route. So for your home, at least, and if this monitor that you're using is for your kids' room, that works out great. Or your gym, or your outdoor, your barbecue, patio TV, whatever. It works out fantastic. It makes it a lot easier, and you can just keep adding TVs. Now, the thing with the two tuners, what does that mean with two tuners? That means basically, I think it'll record two things at the same time, and or let two people watch at the same time. Luckily for just my wife and I, it's no problem. But if you have a big family, you might want to get the 4-tuner one so 4 people can watch at the same time, or 4 shows can record at the same time, or mix and match. I think you can have 3 shows and 1 watching. I don't know. You have to read the instructions. I forgot how it works exactly. But this thing is a game changer. So that's a little extra pro tip. But I'm starting to get a little bit off track. That's just one way that you can get true live TV. Now for me, for camping, if I wanted live TV, I wouldn't go this route. It's a little bit expensive. Let me show you another route. Okay, so this is just the first one that I pulled up. It's a bestseller. It's got 2,500 views on it and 4 out of 5 stars. So, Amazon recommends it. I haven't used it myself, but this is a converter box. So what this thing does is allows you to plug an antenna into this box. And from there, you will be able to get your television shows and I believe a guide, because this does have a recorder on it. Usually the recorders, let's see, you can see the hookups on it right here. There's your HDMI out that you would put into your monitor or in your extractor if you don't have a monitor like mine. And basically, this is all you need. This and an antenna and the cabling, to connect everything to your computer monitor, and you can have not only television when you're camping, but this can be an outdoor TV or whatever. But you can also have the ability to record your television shows as well. So there's a lot of things out there. So with a free monitor, I wouldn't turn it down. I mean, like I said, this is, I think a 25 or 26 inch monitor, I said, and it's plenty big for a camper or an outdoor TV, unless you want a really big, TV for football or something like that. You really don't need anything too crazy. They are not any more weather resistant than a regular TV, or less than a regular TV. So I would be careful of, you know, humidity and things like that if you're going to truly put this outdoors. But for free, I mean, you know, it's a pretty good setup. It's the little accessories that you buy, you know, you'll spend a few bucks on, but this box was $26. You know, you can get either computer speakers like these or hook it up to an outdoor amplifier. Let me show you an amplifier, what that looks like. So I did buy one of these. This is my amplifier. As you can see, it has an FM radio in it. You can read off of SD or SD cards. It has Bluetooth, it has auxiliary jacks. The sound quality is pretty good. It's 40 watts RMS per channels, and it has a bass and treble control, and it's got some controls on it. So I bought one of these because I did use one of these because they're pretty small and compact. They're only like, oh man, like 6 inches, 8 inches wide by a couple of inches tall, and I think like 4 inches deep. They're pretty small. This one's the AK380. They do have a few different models. There's other things out there as well, but it has a remote. I absolutely love this thing. This is what I'm going to use in my camper, and I'll show you my picture of the one that I made in my ammo can box, because I have two of these. One in my ammo can box, and the other one I'm going to build into the side of the cabinet, but I'll show you what that looks like. What I did was I took off these 4 screws here, and I drilled out everything, and then I put the template over the outside so it like kind of mounts that way, and it's pretty clean looking. Here, let me show you what that looks like. So this is my ammo can that I built, but you can see what I did there. I just kind of face plated, mounted it, and you can kind of see it, you know, work and selecting through all the different things. But my ammo can came out pretty good. Let me turn the sound on so you can kind of hear that. Searching for other devices. Is this it right here, BT? You can see the Bluetooth here. Yeah, here's a little bit of audio. Probably doesn't sound all that great from a video to speakers to you, but it sounds really good. So that's what I'm going to do in my camper. Let me just pause this. That's what I'm using for sound. I'm going to run my my audio cords from that splitter device to the inputs on that device, which I'll mount somewhere else in there. But then the speakers will be non-powered, not like these computer speakers that I had on my desk for demonstration purposes. Those have a built-in amplifier. They're just good to go. Those sound really good. I could use those as well. We'll just see. But you can do this very cheaply. If you get the monitor for free, if you get a good monitor that has an audio jack, you don't even need the splitter. But for 10 to 15 bucks, that gets your sound out. And then for $20, if you use the Walmart on Android streaming device, those are only $20. You can also use a TV tuner. I think that one I showed you was $30 instead. So, you know, for what? A few bucks, you know, like say under $50, you can have a nice 26-inch monitor. Yeah, you could go to the store and buy a smart TV and do the same thing, but the sound won't be as good, and it won't be how you want it. Yeah, I mean, if you really wanted to make this cheap, if you just wanted to watch TV, you don't have to get a DVR box. You could get just an ATSC tuner box with an HDMI out, and God, you could probably find those for like $10. You could probably find one with a combo with an antenna, just one of those flat antennas for like 10, 20 bucks, and with a free monitor. So it's like $10, $20 for a TV essentially. They're pretty sharp. They got a good refresh rate on these computer monitors. The nice thing about a computer monitor versus small TV is the pixel density on a computer monitor is much more dense because it's designed to be viewed for, you know, closer viewing. So they are sharper, I think, than a cheapy 26-inch TV. So it just depends on if that makes a difference or not. The refresh rate is better on a monitor, so if you want to hook up other things like video games or whatever, it's going to look better. If you're watching like action movies and stuff like that, the refresh rate matters. It's going to look better for that. You won't have as much lag. This is just an example of what you can do, especially if you got stuff laying around the house. Don't throw it away. Don't recycle it. I mean, if you could give it away or make a couple dollars, you know, hey, that's cool too. But most people, like, monitors are kind of worthless. People just literally throw them in the junk or recycle them. So this is a good way to kind of reuse things and have a nice setup too while doing it and spending virtually nothing. So yeah, that's this tip. You'll see this setup if you can follow my videos. I'll be putting this in my camper eventually, and you'll get to see it all set up and good to go. So until next time, guys, adios.